Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Minecraft Java video. Today I'm going to show you guys how to download and install Starline, which is a fork for Iris shaders. And for those of you who don't know, Iris shaders is a mod that allows us to install and play Minecraft Java Edition with shaders, and the shaders basically change the game and make everything look so much nicer. So as you guys can see, I am using some shaders and I'm getting some nice reflections there in the water, some nice cloud effects there, some nice grass colored effects there as well, and shadows to add on top of that. So Iris Shaders is going to help us to install shaders into our Minecraft Java game. For those of you who have ever used Optifine, Iris Shaders is a good alternative to Optifine. As you guys can see, I am running the latest release of Minecraft as of today, which is Minecraft Java Edition version 1.17.1. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to download and install and then set up the fork for Iris shaders, which is called Starline. And with Starline, we can basically configure our shader options, and all our shader settings can be changed in the game. So if you've ever used Optifine and you've ever installed a shader pack for Minecraft Java Edition, you would have been able to go into options and then go into the shader options and change the settings, like set profiles for shaders. For example, you can set a shader profile from low, high, medium, ultra. But unfortunately, with Iris shaders, if you do install it, you're stuck with whatever the default for that shader pack is. You can edit it if you wanted to by going into the shader pack file and changing some settings in that, but things can get messy. So with Starline, which is a fork for Iris shaders, you can actually go into your options and you can change the settings however you like, depending on what the shader pack will allow you to do. So as you guys can see, I am running the game with the complementary shaders at the moment. And if I was to just install Iris shaders and play this, I would only get the default settings for complementary shaders. If I go into my options, click on video settings, and as you guys can see, I am running Iris shaders because this bit looks different. If I go back into my game, I can press the F3 on my keyboard, and if you look at the bottom right there, it does say Iris version, and then it says 1.1.2 Starline build 460. And on the top left there, we can see we are running Minecraft version 1.17.1, and it says Fabric Loader. So we are running Fabric, and we've got Iris shaders installed using Fabric, and we also have the Starline build 460. If you look on the right hand side again, in the middle there, it does say Sodium Renderer. So not only do I have Starline running alongside Iris shaders, I also have Sodium, which is a performance boosting mod as well. So I'm going to show you guys how to actually how to download and install Starline, how to download and install Iris shaders, and also how to download and install Sodium, which is going to be compatible with Starline, which is the fork for Iris shaders that I mentioned. So let me go back into the options, click on video settings, and now if I click on shader packs, you can see that this screen looks different. So any of you who are using Iris shaders at the moment, you will notice immediately that this screen will be different to what you guys are used to. So chances are that you guys will be seeing a completely different screen. You'll be seeing a screen that looks similar to the left part of my screen, but you won't have the right part, which is this one here with all the settings. And the cool thing about Starline for Iris shaders is that you can actually change the button colors as well. So I can click on this cogwheel in the top right here, and I can actually change the theme. It does say UI theme over here. I've currently got it set to vanilla, so I can actually click on this, change it to aqua, which looks like this. It's all black, and then I could go back and change it to the normal default Iris settings as well, which is see-through. However, I do like the vanilla look there. I think it does stand out, so it's easy to read. You can also change the scroll speed here as well. And if you were to put this as false for the condensed shader pack config, everything will basically be spread out. So I'm going to select the true option for condensed shader pack config there and apply that and click on done. So everything is more compact and you can see it quickly and easily. So as you can see, I've got complementary shaders selected here, and the profile currently is the vanilla RTX-ish profile, as you guys can see there. So I'm going to click on this bit here, change it to the profile. Let's go for potato profile and see what that looks like. I'm going to click on apply and wait for that to load the profile. All right, so it might actually take a few seconds for it to apply and load, but once it does, you can just click on done and just hit the escape key, and then we're back in the game now. So we are in a different mode using complementary shaders. So you guys can see that the water does look different, and I am running the potato mode as mentioned, so I probably would be getting higher FPS. Let me just get rid of the VSync there so you guys can have a look at the FPS. So you can see that I'm getting close to 280, 290 FPS there. Now let's change this back to the ultra profile. So let's click on profile here and let's go for ultra and let's apply this and wait for it to be applied. All right, so as you guys can see, it has been applied. I'm going to click on done, and you can immediately see that previously in the potato mode I was getting close to over 200 FPS, but now I'm only getting 120 FPS in the top left of my screen there, you guys can see. So what this has done is made everything look much nicer and much more higher graphical settings as well. We can also go back into the options, click on video settings, and we can change other stuff as well. So if I go into the lighting, for example, I can change the lighting settings here. I can change the sky settings, water settings if I wanted to do that. Very similar to Optifine that we've seen. I can click on post process. I can turn on motion blur if I wanted to do that, and I can enable depth of field as well. And let's go back. I can click on other and change other stuff in the other section as well, which is quite cool. I think this is a really nice add-on for iris shaders, and thanks to the Starline fork for iris shaders, we can configure our shaders within iris shaders and get all the settings that we require. I can click on apply. Let's wait for that to load again. All right, so it's applied it, and as you guys can see, if I go close to this block and I look around the surroundings behind it, everything has been blurred out thanks to the depth of field which I enabled earlier. So it's really cool, and before we were never able to do that because we were only able to just play the game using iris shaders with the default profile for the shaders, and we would be stuck with that. And for some of us we would accept it, but for others who may not like it and want a bit more control, they may have switched to Optifine. But luckily now with the Starline fork for iris shaders, we can do that. And as you guys can see, I'm going to click on done, and now we have the glowing ores there, the setting for that, and it looks really cool. I really do like complementary shaders because not only do we get to play the game using a normal profile, but they also give us the RTX profile, which I mentioned earlier looks similar to the Minecraft Bedrock edition. And if you guys have ever played Minecraft Bedrock with RTX enabled, you will see that they have some similarities as well. So let me change the time to day, and you can see the water looks quite similar to the Minecraft Bedrock RTX game as well, which is really cool. Another cool thing I'll show you with the options and the shader configuration in this, if I was to select BSL shaders, let me just apply that quickly, and I can now basically have a look at the sun, which as you guys can see, it is squared there. So if you guys were to just use the default installation for iris shaders, this is what you would see. You would see the game like this. It would look nice, but you would not be able to change any of the settings. So you can see the sun there, it looks squared. So let me go into options, video settings, shader packs, and having BSL selected there, I can now click on atmospherics, and I can scroll down, and where it says round sun and moon, I can click on true. And let's go back and let's do a bit of coloring as well. Let's go into the tone map, and I'm going to put saturation and vibrance to 1.3 because I think that is a nice sweet spot for the colors to look. All right, so that has been applied. All right, so if we have a look at the sun, you can see that it is rounded now. It looks so much more nicer, especially with these clouds, which do look quite realistic as well. We've got the nice rounded sun there, and have a look at these colors here. For the grass, it's more vibrant, more saturated. I do like the 1.3 setting on the saturation and the vibrance as well. I think it really does look nice and really makes everything pop out much more. and BSL shaders is now really nice to play with. So you can see the sun's reflection in the water there. Not only do we have a rounded sun, but the reflection is also round. Before, with the default version of Iris shaders, where we weren't able to configure the shader pack, you would have a squared sun for BSL shaders, but the reflection would look round. So a bit of a mismatch there, but with the Starline fork for Iris shaders, we are able to change that and basically get the settings that we would require. So today I'm going to show you guys how to download and install Starline fork for Iris shaders. It is a bit of a tricky installation, so do make sure that you watch the whole video and follow the instructions exactly how I tell you guys, because it can get a bit tricky in the middle there. There are a few steps which you guys have to take to get everything set up. So I'm going to show you how to download and install the Starline fork for Iris shaders, how to download and install Iris shaders, and how to set it up as a fabric mod, and at the same time how to download and install Sodium as well. So we've got everything running. And towards the end, I'm also going to show you guys how to download extra mods. So basically you can play with Iris shaders, with mods, and have the Starline fork set up as well, so you can configure shaders and have mods at the same time. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to download Java Jdk and get the latest release for that, because we do need Java to actually open up the Iris installer. So let's go into our internet browser and just type in Java Jdk 16 and download the latest release, and it is the oracle.com link, and I will leave a link in the description for all of the downloads that I am showing you guys today. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to get the Windows x64 installer because I am on a Windows machine, and I'm going to click this link and start the download for that. So I'm going to wait for that to finish downloading and I'll be right back. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has finished downloading the Java Jdk file 16.0.2. So let's close this down and let's close down this tab. The next file we're now going to get is the Iris shaders installer file, because we do need the Iris installer to be installed, and then we can actually install the Starline fork for Iris shaders. So let's go ahead and just start typing in Iris shaders, and it should be the first link which comes up, which is the irisshaders.net link. So let's go to this website and it should look something like this. So just click on download now and then download the universal jar file, and let's wait for that to start the download. So as you guys can see, it's only 800 kilobytes, so it's going to be a quick download, and we can now close this down. Okay, so the next file we're now going to download is the Starline fork for Iris shaders file. So I've actually got this open, and this is a github.com website where the author has been submitting their versions of Starline on here. So you do have to come here to download the latest release for your Minecraft Java game, making sure that you are downloading it for the latest release of Minecraft Java, which is currently 1.17.1. You might see some other files there for other versions, but do make sure that it is for 1.17.1, because that is what the current version of Minecraft is. In the future, we might have a updated version, so obviously just make sure it is for the current working version of Minecraft Java, which is 1.17.1. I will leave a link in the description to this website, so you don't have to go around searching for it, but the website should look something like this. Let me just refresh that to make it a more visible, wider screen. So as you guys can see, we've got a few different sections here. If we look at the section which says Iris, I'm going to right click and open this in a new tab, and it should look something like this, and it should say hypercube MC/Iris, and you should see Starline written over here. And if you scroll down, you can actually see it does say how to download and install Starline, and it talks about Starline as well, and it also talks about the Iris shaders and what their goals are, and it gives a few more explanations, and it also tells you what shader packs you can use with that as well, which is really cool. So do make sure that you do read up all about this as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to actually download the files, because this is the tricky part. It took me a while to figure out. The first thing you need to make sure is that you are registered with GitHub, which is a free registration, and then you are logged in. So as you guys can see, I am logged in. I'm signed in as my default user ID there. And once we click on Iris, like I showed you, you should see this screen. Now we need to click on Actions, and you'll probably see this where it says All Workflows, and look for where it says the latest release. So because we're on 1.17.1, the file I'm going to get is this one, and it's going to say stable/1.17-Starline. So I'm going to click on this bit here which says merge branch 1.17 Starline, and it should open up this bit here, and your screen should look like this, and the file download link is over here where it says artifacts. So I'm going to click on this link, and hopefully it should start the download for you guys. So as you guys can see, it has started downloading a file which says artifacts.zip, and it's 3.6 megabytes. And we will take a look at that file later on, because you do have to extract a file out of the zip file, because there might be 3 or 4 files in there. I think there's 4 files, and we only need to get the 1 file out of that zip file. Alright, so we can close down this tab. Now, if we go to the sodium-fabric section, we are going to download the sodium for Starline, because the default sodium at the moment when we install Iris shaders is only going to be compatible with Iris shaders, but because we're using Starline, which is a fork for Iris shaders, the sodium needs to be configured for that. So as you guys can see, it does say sodium for Starline Iris fork. And again, if we click on Actions, and if we look for where it says 1.17-Starline, click on this link here. It should be somewhere at the top, and then we can click on where it says build artifacts over here, and it's a 1.62 megabyte file. So let's wait for that to finish downloading. So as you guys can see, it's nearly done the downloading and checking. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to place all of these files on my desktop. I'm going to actually show you how to install these properly and get everything up and running. And then after that, I'm going to actually show you how to download some mods as well and get them running alongside Iris shaders with Sodium, with Fabric, and so you can play with mods and shaders all at the same time. So it's really cool. Everything is possible now thanks to Fabric, Iris shaders, and Sodium. And now we've got the Starline for Iris shaders, which should help us configure the shaders as well. So let me close this down and let me put all of these files on the desktop, and I'll be right back. Alright, so as you guys can see, I've now placed all of the files on my desktop. The first file I'm going to actually run and install is the Java Jdk version 16.0.2, and then I'm going to install this, and then I'm going to move on to Iris installer. So all you need to do is just double click on that file. As you can see, I am getting a message which says the software has already been installed on your computer. Would you like to reinstall it? When I select yes, then I'm going to click on next and proceed with the default installation options, and then just wait for that to finish installing. Alright, so as you guys can see, it does say Java has been successfully installed, and because we actually downloaded the entire file, which is 150 megabytes, it is a quicker installation. So you can click on close and move this file out of the way. Now you should be able to right click on Iris installer, which is the jar file, and hover over where it says open with, and then select Java platform SE binary. So let's do that and wait for the installer to open up. So as you guys can see, this is the Iris installer. For the select edition bit, just select this drop down. You can't actually select anything else. Select game version. I'm going to select 1.17.1 because as of today's date, that is the latest release. Select install directory. I'm going to leave that as the default. And this is the important bit, because if you guys want to run mods with your shaders, then you have to tick this box which says install as fabric mod. If you're only concerned with running the game with shaders, then you can leave that as unticked, but I would recommend just ticking that, because you do have the option of actually installing mods later down the line. So just make sure that your install options look something like this, and then hit the install button here, and it will say downloading, and then it will say installation succeeded, and then we can now close this down, and let's move this file out of the way. And now you will see that we've got 2 files. One is called artifacts and the other one is called build artifacts. So let's move these out of the way for now. Let's open up the Minecraft launcher. And if you will notice at the bottom left there in the drop down, it should say Fabric Loader. So as you can see, it says Fabric Loader for 1.17.1 over here. And if I go into my installations section, it says the same thing. It should say Fabric Loader 1.17.1. Now we need to go into the Minecraft directory. So if you just hover over any of these and then click on the folder icon over here, and now we can close down the launcher, we should now be in the Minecraft directory, and you should notice that we will have a folder that says mods over here. So just double click this mods folder, and if you go inside it, you will see that we've got a Iris MC 1.17 jar file. So what I'm actually going to do now, I'm going to actually highlight this and I'm going to delete this file basically because we don't actually require this, because the file we're going to replace it with is Iris shaders with the Starline fork included. So let's highlight this and I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard and get rid of that. So your mods folder should now be empty, and let's move this folder box out of the way. Now if we open up the artifacts.zip file, you can use WinRAR or WinZip or any other application to open up the zip files. In here, as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, there will be 4 files. The file we're interested in is this one, which is Iris MC 1.17-1.1.2 Starline build 460.jar file. So don't copy over any of these other 3 files, only select this file which I'm showing you here, copy and then drag this file into the mods folder. So as you guys can see, I've placed that file into the mods folder. So in your mods folder, you should have this build 460 jar file for Iris MC Starline. And we're going to open up the other zip file as well. So as you guys can see, it does say sodium fabric MC 1.17.1-0.3.0, and this is the Iris 2-build, and this is the jar file which we need to click on, drag into the mods folder, and it's that easy. So as you guys can see, in my mods folder I now have 2 files, and your mods folder should look something like this, with the file names relating to how it shows on my screen. I can now close this down, and now I can actually run the Minecraft launcher. I'm also quickly going to download a shader as well. So I'm going to go back into my internet browser. I'm going to go to the BSL shaders default website. So I'm going to go to bidslablab.com, and we're going to download the shaders on here, which are the extra shaders. So I'm going to click on edits and extras, and I'm going to get the Astrolex shader and the Prismarine shader. So we're going to have a look at those and see how they run. So just right click on these and open them in new tabs, and this will load up the main website for the Astrolex website. So I'm going to click on download, and I'm going to download the Astrolex BSL edit shader, and it should start the download there. And I'm going to do the same for the Prismarine shader as well. So let's wait for these shaders to finish downloading, and I'm going to be right back. Alright, so I've placed the zip files for the 2 new shaders which I've just downloaded. Let me move these other files out of the way, and let me place these over here. Let's go back into our Minecraft launcher, and similar to how I showed you how to install the mods, this is how we're going to install the shaders. I'm going to click on installations, hover over this folder icon, open up the directory, make sure the launcher is closed again, and you should have a folder here that says shader packs. If you don't have this folder which says shader packs, right click anywhere on an empty space, click on new, click on folder, and then rename it to shader packs. Now let's go back into the shader packs folder, and I can now move these 2 zip files into the shader packs folder. So this is how we install shaders into Minecraft. It should have the zip file in the shader packs folder. Let's close this down, and now finally we can launch the Minecraft launcher. Let's wait for that to load up now. And there are 2 ways to launch the fabric loader. You can either select it in the drop down here and click on play, or we can go to installations and hover over where it says fabric loader for version 1.17.1 and then click on play over there. So let's do that, and now let's wait for our game to load up. Alright, so the game has loaded and I have maximized it. So you can see that we are running the Minecraft Java Edition 1.17.1. It does say fabric over here at the bottom left. If I click on options and go into video settings, you can see that this bit of the screen does look different to the normal vanilla screen that we're used to seeing, and even different to what Optifine looks like. So we do know that Iris shaders has been installed successfully, and now if I click on shader packs, we can see that I've got Astrolex shader selected here, and now I can actually choose the profile in Astrolex as well. So I'm going to select Ultra, I'm going to click on apply, and wait for that to be applied to the Astrolex shaders. Right, so it does take a few seconds for that to apply. So if your game does look like it's frozen, don't worry, it does take a few seconds, but it does apply it. And then now we can click on done. And I'm going to enter this creative mode game that I made earlier and see how it looks with Astrolex selected with the ultra profile as well. So it should be interesting. So there we go. So as you guys can see, it's now loaded the game with the Astrolex profile, and it looks really nice. I really do like the shader pack. I think it's really cool. Let's go back into options and shader pack settings. You can see I've got the ultra profile there, and everything looks so nice in this shader pack. We can see that we do have the cell shaded effect going on there as well, but we do have a squared sun. So let's go ahead in the options and try to change the sun and see if we can change the sun into a rounded sun as well. And let's see if we can actually disable the cell shading as well in the options, because previously we weren't able to do that. All right, so I'm going to go into my options, click on video settings, shaders as well. Now let's go into the visual and cell shading, and let's see if we can actually turn off the cell shading here. All right, so I'm going to select false for the black outline there, and let's go back and have a look at how that looks. I'm going to go into the sky option here. I'm going to turn on round sun and moon. I'm going to click on apply, and let's see if that turns off the cell shading and then enables a rounder sun there as well. As I mentioned earlier, it does take a few seconds to load, so you can see that my mouse cursor was looking a bit different. I'm going to click on done now, go back into the game. So as you guys can see, it now looks closer to what BSL shader looks like as well, and we do have the game with no cell shading. I don't think that the rounded sun has changed, however. Let's go back and have a look in the settings. Let's go into sky. I have selected round sun and moon, however it is still showing the squared one, so that is one of the options. It hasn't changed, but you can actually go into video settings here and you can change other stuff. You can see we've got so many different options here. Alright, so we do have other options as well that we can go into. If we go into the visual, go into color, let's have a look at the lighting effects there. We can actually change the coloring as well. I'm not going to spend too much time into looking at all the settings, but you guys can actually go ahead and play around with these settings if you wanted to do that. And you can go into advanced materials, have a look at the reflections as well. Alright, let's quickly get the complementary shaders as well that I showed you earlier. So let's go to bitslablab.com website, click on BSL shaders, edits and extras. Let's click on complementary shaders over here, and we're quickly going to download this and place the file into the shader pack folder. So let's go back into the game, open shader pack folder, as you guys can see here. Let's wait for this download to finish. I'm going to click on the downloads button here. I'm going to go into the folder of the downloads section and then move the shader pack file. So let me open up this folder, let me minimize that, and I'm actually going to place the complementary shader zip file into the shader packs folder here quickly. And I'm going to close this down. I'm going to click on refresh shader packs, and as you guys can see, complementary shaders is now showing. So I'm going to select that, click on apply, and we can actually change the settings for that as well. So let's take a look at the default settings it leaves us with, and then we can change it. So this is what the default profile looks like. So as you can see, it says medium profile, and the compatibility mode is set to false. So this is what the game looks like if you were to install iris shaders on its own without Starline installed as well. So as you guys can see, this is what it looks like. We can actually go ahead into the video settings and obviously change that to the RTX profile. So let's do that and wait for that to load up. Alright, so let's have a look at the world now. So this should be similar to what the Minecraft Bedrock RTX looks like. You can see from the water itself, we've got the reflections there, and the water looks like similar to what the Minecraft Bedrock RTX looks like as well. So this is how you download and install the Starline Fork 4 Iris shaders. I'm also going to show you guys quickly how to set up and download some mods into the mods folder, so you can actually start playing with shaders and mods at the same time. So let me go ahead and close this down, and I'm going to go into my internet browser again, and this time I'm going to go into the Fabric MC website, which is fabricmc.net. And if we go into the main website, click on use, you will notice it does say most mods will require you to install Fabric API. So that is the first file we need to download. So click on Files and then click on Download. So we're now going to start the download for Fabric API. While that is downloading, let me open up another tab. I'm now going to download Voxel Map, which is another add-on mod for Minecraft that gives us a mini map, and it also gives us a world map at the same time. So in your search bar, just start typing in Minecraft Voxel Map, and it should be the CurseForge link. So click on that one, and I will leave a link in the description for this one as well. And the file we need to get is this one over here, which says Fabric Voxel Map for 1.17. So click on the download link and wait for that to finish downloading, and then I'll show you guys how to install both of these files. Alright, so as you guys can see, I've got these two files downloaded. I'm also going to quickly get mod menu so you can actually see all the mods you've got installed in Fabric. So in your search bar, just type in Fabric mod menu as well. And again, look for the curseforge.com link. And let's download this mod as well. And this is basically going to show us a mods button on the main menu, and we can quickly see which mods we've got installed. So let's wait for this to finish downloading. And I'm also going to place this file on the desktop. So let's close this down and let's put that on the desktop. So as you guys can see, I've got 3 different files here. And what we need to do now is open up the Minecraft launcher, and we're going to quickly just put that into the mods folder. Like I showed you guys, this is how we install mods in Minecraft after we've installed Fabric and stuff like that. Basically, even if you were using Forge, this is how you would install the mods. So as I showed you, just click on that folder icon, open up the Minecraft directory, and we need to go into the mods folder. So go into that one again, and now we can place these 3 files into the mods folder. So as you guys can see now, I've got Iris, Starline build 460, Sodium for Starline Iris shaders in there as well. I've got mod menu, I've got Fabric API, and I've got the voxel map for Fabric. So I can close this down. Now I can launch the Minecraft launcher. And the next thing obviously I need to do is launch the Fabric loader. So I'm going to go into installations and click on play. I can also click on play over here with Fabric loader selected. So let's do that. Let's click on play and wait for the game to load up now. Alright, so as you guys can see, it has loaded up the game now. So let's maximize that. And now you can see I've got a mods folder here which I can actually click into. And now I can easily see I've got Iris installed, I've got mod menu installed, I've got Sodium installed as well, and I've got voxel map installed as well. We can tick this and we can select libraries to be hidden or shown in here as well. And I can now go into single player, go back into my world, and I should have a mini map and world map showing as well. So let's wait for this to load up and join the world. The mini map should be in the top corner, and I can press the M key on my keyboard and I can go and have a look at the world map. So as you guys can see, I've got a mini map in the top right there, which is really cool. If you guys haven't checked out this map mod yet, do check it out. It's a really cool mod. And if I press the M key, I can actually go into the world map here, and I've got options for setting waypoints as well, which is really cool. So as you guys can see, I've got the mod menu set up, I've got Fabric API, and I've got voxel map showing, and now I can go into options, click on video settings, and I can actually change that to the ultra profile. Let's go ahead and do that. And I should have a game basically with really cool shaders and really cool mods, and enjoy my whole Minecraft experience thanks to this Starline for Iris shaders. I'm quickly also going to change the coloring as well. I'm going to go into tone map and change the saturation to 1.3 and vibrance to 1.3 as well. Let's apply that and see how everything looks now. Alright, so it has done the configuration. So as you guys can see, we do have the saturation and vibrance set up there to 1.3, and I've got mods running and I've got the shaders running, and everything just looks super cool. And we can just fly around and have a look at the amazing graphics here of the water, of the shaders, and the mods as well at the same time. So hopefully you guys have found this video useful. If you have, please do give us a like. Obviously you should be able to now download and install the Starline fork for Iris shaders, as well as download and install Iris shaders and the Fabric mod loader as well, and other mods and shaders as well, like I showed you in this video. If you guys do have any problems, just leave them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to help you out. And please also do subscribe to this channel to help support it, help it grow. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.